Good evening, everyone. I'm Pradeep Vasudevan. I'm from Leicester, and you must be thinking why this guy from Leicester is here in Oxford and what is he doing here? Well, I have known the speaker for some time, and to be exact, 124 weeks. So you must be thinking why I know someone and correctly 124 weeks. It's because I've been attending his online lectures for the last 124 Sundays. And one of the things, it actually proves the dedication and commitment he has towards this cause. He has been teaching us mind awareness and management through Bhagavad Gita. And we have now completed about 10 chapters systematically, with 8 chapters remaining now. So that's about me and the context why I'm here. So I'm very happy and privileged to introduce today's guest. His full name is Dr. Kannan Parameswaran Kannan. It's a mouthful, so we'll call him Dr. Kannan short today. He has come all the way from Kerala, a small state in the southwestern part of India. So he is a traditional Kathakali performer, trainer and researcher, and he's the project director of SNA Kodiyattam Kendra, a regional center of Central Sangeeta Nadaka Academy in New Delhi, which works for the promotion of Kodiyattam. So he, from what I have known him in this last 2 years and a bit more, is he's a multifaceted personality with immense talent, knowledge and skills. You can see at one end, he's a master of performing arts, and then the other side, he is a scholar in Vedanta, Yoga Sutras, Indian scriptures, including Bhagavad Gita. I've written a few things about, but I don't actually read from it. I just come, like that. So sorry about that. There are a few more things I would like to say about him. He has worked as the director of Higher Studies Campus at Kerala Kalamandalam Deemed University and has conducted a number of theatre workshops for Indian as well as overseas theatre students. Dr. Kannan has developed a mind awareness and management system for better understanding the movements of the mind and for developing effective functioning in day-to-day activities. He is actively involved in conducting workshops internationally for promoting this system of mind awareness and management. And I'm inviting Dr. Kannan to come to the dais and give his talk.
Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryandam Vande Guru-paramparam. Namaste. Welcome to this small speech on mind awareness management principles in Indian philosophy. We are discussing this matter for some time, and I am happy that all of you are here to support me in this venture. We are trying to find out the important aspects from the traditional system of India and to practice that in our life. A system is important only when it is important. It can be practiced in our day-to-day life. If it cannot be practiced in our day-to-day life, a system has no importance at all. Even though a system has a lot of history, then it has importance only when it is useful at present. So we were actually, as a group, trying to understand what is the point which we are able to practice in our day-to-day life. These Vedas, Upanishads, and all these texts, they are written centuries back, we know. They are actually giving very clear system, in which many people consider as religion. Of course, religion as a worship, a system of worship of God, it is important for human being, because when we are depressed, when we are unhappy, we need God as a help. That is true. But more than that, what is there in this system, and particularly in this traditional system of Vedas, Upanishads, and all other darshanas. Darshanas means these Sankhya, Nyayam, Yoga, Vedanta, all these systems. In these systems, what is the essence which we are able to practice in our day-to-day life? This was our question. More than a religion, what we are able to find out from it? This was our question, and that we are actually finding out through the word mind, awareness, and management. Actually, these systems, various systems, we can categorize them into three, like tantric system, and then yoga system, and Vedanta system. We can categorize them into three. This tantric system is mainly worship of God. In Indian system, we have seen a number of gods actually, and various kinds of worship in all these tantric system. When we say this tantric, it does not mean some kind of just only the practices. They have its own principles, they have its own method, this tantric system. And yogic system, little bit different, and Vedanta system. I will explain shortly these three systems. And the underlying principle of all these systems is mind, awareness, and management. We all of us are doing our day-to-day life with the help of our mind. Now, I am talking with the help of my mind, and you are listening to me with the help of mind. You are sitting there. If you are not attentive, if your mind is not at present, suppose you are thinking about something else, you are thinking about your house, or you are thinking about your work, then whatever I am saying, whatever good thing I am saying, it is not useful, no, it is not effective, because your mind is not present. You are here, but your mind is not here. Then it won't work. That means all our activities are done with our mind. According to Indian system, the mind is, we call it manas. Manas. I would like to use the word manas, not the word mind, because I can explain a little bit more with this word manas. Instead of mind, let me use manas. So that with manas, with the attentive manas, you are actually listening to me. When you are listening to me, if some other thoughts come into your mind, for example, some thoughts related to your house, it comes into your mind, your manas. Then you are observing it, no? You are seeing, and then you say that, oh, wait, not now. No need to think now, because I am listening to this talk, so no need to think now, right? So that observing faculty, that is also considered very important in our tradition. Instead of just this manas, this observing faculty, we can call it buddhi, or we can call it sakshi, the witness. Sakshi is a Sanskrit word for witness, is witness faculty, who is always witnessing whatever you are doing. So maybe you are sitting like this, then you are witnessing how I am sitting, right? Where my hands, where my legs, you are seeing yourself. So there is an observation happening. And your mind, what thoughts it is coming in your manas, and what kind of emotion coming into your manas that you are observing. That observation, that observing faculty, that is also considered very important in our tradition. I think that is the most important aspect which need to be studied related to Indian system. There is a very important mantra in Rigveda that is called Dvasuparna. Dvasuparna means two lovebirds, two birds. Dvasuparna sayuja sakhaya samanam vriksham parishasvajate tayoranya pippalam swadhyati anashnananyo abhijagashidi. That is the sloka. That is the mantra from Rigveda. This is written thousands and thousands years back. And people think, when you get the literal meaning of it, it is a description of two birds living in a tree. So reading this, many people said, oh, Rigveda is about nature. The description of nature, tree, two birds. Actually, this is not only about nature. Of course, tree and birds are in the nature. This is a description of nature. But through this description, what Rigveda tries to teach us is the system of manas and this observation faculty. You understand what I am saying? No? This one bird, two birds are there. In a tree, two birds are there. One bird is flying from one branch to another branch and is enjoying the fruit, the tender leaves, and it is flying and it is enjoying. Another bird is not interested in enjoying these things, in eating these things, but the next bird, the second bird, is just observing the other bird. So two birds, one bird is flying from one branch to another branch, and another bird is sitting on top and just observing, only observing. It is contented. It is not interested in anything else except observing. So this is the picture of this manas and the observing faculty. It is clear, no? This is the concept of our inner aspect according to our Indian tradition. This is what we call mind awareness and management. So mind is the lower bird who is flying. Our mind is like that. Our mind cannot rest upon a point. No, always your mind is moving around. Some people try to meditate wrongly, trying to point your mind upon a point, focus your mind upon a point. That is a wrong practice because it is impossible. According to the nature of your mind cannot rest upon a point. Then if you try to forcefully fix your mind upon a point, it will never happen. This is what the Rigveda teaches years back, that the bird, lower bird, is always flying. Your mind is always moving because it has a lot of attachment. That is another aspect. Your manas, this mind, the lower bird, it has attachment. It is connected through desire. It is connected with various things. Therefore, it cannot stay in a point. Always it is going. For example, as I said earlier, you are sitting here, but your mind going. Oh, where my car has parked? Somebody will happen to my car. No, it's natural. Because our attachment to certain things. Maybe several years back something happened. Even now, your mind will be attached to that thing, right? And because of that reason, you might become overjoyed. Because of that reason, you might become depressed. Both happens. Because of the attachment of your mind, right? So because of this attachment, this lower bird is always flying. But the other bird, the other aspect, the observing faculty of your mind, that observing aspect of your mind, we can say the upper mind, we can say the other one, the lower mind, which is always moving, the upper mind. This upper mind, the observation faculty, it has no interest in anything except observation. So our systems, this tantric system, yogic system, Vedanta system, all these systems are trying to change our priority from this lower bird to the upper bird. If we give stress to the upper bird, if we live with an understanding that I am actually this observation faculty, I am the observing person, I am not this mind, I am this observing person, then what will happen? You will become peaceful. This observation faculty is always understanding, observing, knowing everything what is happening around you. It is an awareness. It is in this awareness we all of us are actually existing. Right? It is this awareness which is the point, the center point of our existence, this awareness. Everything else happening inside that awareness. This is that reality. This is what is said by our ancestors, in the tradition, this is said. Therefore, all these systems teach us this truth, that you are actually the observer. This observer is actually called Atma. Many people might have heard that you are Atma. You are not this body and mind, you are Atma. Then people say, no. I am this body and mind because I feel hungry, I feel sleepy, and I have many other feelings. So how can you say that I am not this body and mind, I am Atma? How will it happen? The reality is that you are this observer. You are this observer. The observer continuously observing, knowing. In this light of knowledge, in this light of awareness, all the other movements are happening. That is why, even though your body is moving, you born, you were very little and you are growing, no? And you are changing, you are maturing, you are acquiring lot of skills. All this happening under the light of this awareness. Always this awareness is functioning. That awareness is actually Atma. Even now, when you are listening to me, that awareness is actually some functioning, and that is called Atma. That is why in this tradition you might have heard the ultimate aim of human life is moksha, liberation, moksha. Some people describe moksha as you get moksha after death. After death you go to some heaven, or if you are doing bad things you will go to hell. That is not the actual description about moksha. Moksha literally means mukti, freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from unhappiness. Freedom from unhappiness. All of us, we are doing everything. We are learning here in Oxford, we are working here in Oxford, and we are having food, we have relationships, we have everything, we are doing everything just to be happy, no? That is our ultimate purpose. That is what we want to in our life. Be happy, right? When you are taking some chocolate, experiencing chocolate, you become happy. I know, I have one friend. When she feels unhappy, she will search for chocolate. Where is chocolate? and tasting it, she is happy. But only for a small period of time. After that, again, she needs chocolate to be happy. But still, that happiness is what we are searching for in our life. So, how can we get this happiness? That is the question all these systems explain. And why we are not feeling happy. Then only we can find out the way to become happy. Why we are becoming unhappy. It says the moksha is actually to get rid of your unhappiness and to be happy. That is moksha. Permanently happy. It is called, there is a sutra, a phrase in Sankhya Darshana. That is Trividha Dukkha Atyanta Nivrittihi Atyanta Purushartha. Atyanta Purushartha. That means moksha. Moksha means to get rid of three kinds of unhappiness. In our life, there are only three kinds of unhappiness. That is how they found out. And now when we understand this, we feel that it is true because we have only three categories of unhappiness. One is Adi Bhaudika, our material unhappiness. The unhappiness because of lack of material necessity. When you have no food, you feel unhappy. When you do not have a job to get enough money, then you become unhappy. If you do not have a comfortable house, you become unhappy. If you want a bigger house, you have a small house, comfortable house, but if you do not have a bigger house, still you become unhappy. So material reasons, and then you become unhappy. That kind of unhappiness is called Adi Bhaudika. Adi Bhaudika Dukkha. Dukkha means unhappiness. Then Adi Daivika Dukkha. That is natural calamities. Like flood or earthquake. These kind of natural calamities. That also another reason for our unhappiness. And then third one is Adhyatmika Dukkha. When you do not have the knowledge about yourself, who am I? That is a reason for unhappiness. When you are thinking that I am this body and mind, when you are thinking that I am this body and mind, that is the cause of unhappiness. And the truth is that you are Atma. Then that awareness that I am Atma, that gives real happiness. So that is the third aspect, that is spiritual. But the first one is material cause, and that unhappiness is called Adi Bhaudika Dukkham. And second one is natural calamities, and that kind of unhappiness is called Adi Daivigam. The third one is spiritual because of your ignorance, lack of knowledge about yourself. Because of that reason, you become unhappy. That is philosophic unhappiness. When usually people become that philosophically unhappy, they take some kind of drinks, then you forget everything, then you are happy. Or you involve in things like sex or in that kind of things, and then you forget. You do not address, many people do not address that spiritual unhappiness, and they try to forget these things and find out happiness in something else. So these are the nature of human being. Anyway, this way we have unhappiness, and to get rid of these unhappiness and to become happiness, that is become happy. That is our aim. All human beings. This is called moksha. Permanently getting rid of this unhappiness, permanently become happy. That is called moksha. Our tradition says it is because of the misunderstanding that you are this body and mind. You are this body and mind. That is a misunderstanding, and because of that misunderstanding, the unhappiness happens. As I said earlier, you have thoughts in your mind and you are able to observe it. And these thoughts, we always think that this is my thought. Actually, it is not our thought. It actually comes from outside, and you are actually the observer of it. I am the observer. So when you are the observer of your thoughts, naturally you become little bit detached from your mind and emotions. That is the system. For that purpose, there are various techniques through which you are able to build up your mind. In Bhagavad Gita, you might have, you know the story of Bhagavad Gita, no? The Arjuna becomes very depressed and he is not very happy to fight with his cousins. He has to fight with his cousins. Then it is not the story of the fight between two cousins. That is not the story. Actually, it is a fight between dharma and adharma. The dharma, you know dharma? Is it necessary to explain it? Dharma is that which is positive. That which is positive, which is helpful for our existence. If you do dharmic activities, then that is helpful for our existence. If you are doing adharma, then that will destroy our happiness, that will destroy our health, that will destroy our society. That is adharma. That is the difference between dharma and adharma. For example, if you do wrong activities in your day-to-day life, if you do wrong activities in your work, maybe for some time you might get some kind of reward or something from some people because of that wrongdoing. But in the long run, you will not be successful. That will be a destructive activity. That is why it is called adharma. In the same thing, if you are doing wrong things in the society, then it will not give you a permanent success. Maybe temporarily you might get something, you feel that it is good because of that wrongdoing. That is why they are doing these kind of wrong things. But that wrong things will, after some time, this will definitely destroy that person, destroy the family, destroy the society. That is why it is called adharma. So dharma and adharma, this is a fight between dharma and adharma. These Pandavas, 5 brothers and 100 brothers, Kauravas. And this is a fight between these people. This is a story in Mahabharata, the epic, Indian epic Mahabharata. Here these 5 brothers, in which Arjuna is one among them. And these 5 brothers, they are doing dharma, they are doing positive activities. Through their activities, they are trying to protect the society. They are trying to protect the law. But these Kauravas, they are called Atatai. Atatai means they are criminals. They are doing wrong things. Wrong things in their family, wrong things in the society. Because of that reason, they cannot be protected. They need to be destroyed. For that purpose, this fight is happening. But Arjuna is seeing things in a wrong way. Arjuna thinks that they are, the 100 brothers are my cousins. So he is not ready to fight with them. Then Arjuna becomes unable to even lift his weapon. He becomes unable because of his unhappiness to involve in this war. Then Lord Krishna, who is the chariot driver of Arjuna. Lord Krishna, you know that story. Many of you saying yes or no? No, okay. Then Lord Krishna, he is a philosopher, he is a yogi, a knowledgeable person, Lord Krishna. He is actually driving the chariot of Arjuna in the battle. Then Arjuna becomes unable to fight. Then Lord Krishna asks him, why your mind is becoming like that? And Arjuna says that, oh Krishna, you are asking me to be focused and fight against them, but my mind, I cannot control my mind. I am unable to control my mind. Then Krishna says that it is necessary that you practice abhyasena tu kaundeya vairagyena cha grihyate. You have to practice your mind to become stronger and stronger. One thing, practice. Through practice, you are able to bring strength for your mind. Second, you need to practice non-attachment. Here, the Arjuna's problem is that he is attached to his cousins. Because of his attachment, he is not realizing or remembering at that moment. Actually, he knows, but he is not remembering that his cousins are actually doing wrong things in the society. So, in this fight, they cannot be spared away. They need to be destroyed. That is necessary. Then only the society can be protected. So this is the duty of Arjuna. But Arjuna was not ready to do that. Then Lord Krishna says that you have to practice your mind, the non-attachment. How is this non-attachment be practiced? Non-attachment is practiced by understanding the truth that you are not this body and mind. The thoughts are happening in your mind. But this, you are not actually this mind, but you are the observer of it. When you become the observer of your mind, then naturally you become stronger. Your mind is always moving like this. But when you become the observer of it, you will be able to manage yourself. You will be able to develop a kind of detachment. A kind of detachment. That detachment, for example, when you are writing an examination, and when you were sitting on a table and started writing an examination, if you are remembering about various things happening in your house or on the street, then you will not be able to write properly. So that is called attachment. When you are writing an examination, your mind should be there in the activity which you are doing. No? Not what happened yesterday or not something happened day before yesterday, and it should not come and disturb you in your activity, right? That kind of disturbance is called attachment. Uncontrollably recurring thoughts. The recurring thoughts which you are not able to control, that is called attachment. Is it clear what I am saying? So while you are sitting here, if other thoughts are coming and disturbing you, then that is distraction. This is why you are not able to focus upon something. Our mind, we are not able to focus upon something because we are attached to various things. There is a definition for meditation, dhyana. Dhyana is rago upahatihi dhyana. Ragam means attachment. Your mind is connected. Because of this connection, these thoughts enter into your mind. Because it is entering into your mind, you are not able to focus. Then what should we do? What should we do? We need to observe our mind. There are some people who, I want to focus, I want to focus, I want to focus. It is not possible. We can only strain our nervous system, that's all. We cannot focus because our mind, by its nature, never sit upon somewhere. But we are able to observe and understand, know the nature of our mind, understand the nature of the attachment of our mind. Is it clear what I am saying? When we understand the nature of our mind, with whatever things my mind is attached. My mind is attached to my family aspects, family incidents or persons or something. Or my mind is attached to some movies or some, you can understand. Or my mind is addicted to certain things. We can understand. That's a knowledge. That's an observation. Through that observation, we understand our mind. And then through our understanding, we are trying to manage our mind. That is mind awareness and management. Is it clear what I am saying? So this is the only way with which we are able to control our mind and make it function well in our day-to-day life. Is it clear? For that purpose, we have various systems to understand our mind. This is what Lord Krishna said. You do practice by reducing your attachment. Vairagyam. Vairagyam means non-attachment. Abhyasena tu kaundeya vairagyena cha grihyate. Through practicing and reducing the attachment. For the purpose of reducing the attachment, you have to develop habits in our day-to-day life. It's only by habit formation we will be able to control our mind, because our mind is habit. Always our mind is creating habits for itself. For example, watching movie, that will become a habit. Watching television become a habit. Taking tea from morning till evening becomes a habit. Everything becomes habit. So that habit formation is a good aspect of your mind, because if you are building up positive habits, then you can develop your mind. By observation, by the help of observation, you must at first realize that I am not the mind. Mind is only an instrument with which I am doing activities. Just like my hand. My hand is an instrument with which I can do various activities, right? Right? Even though it's a part of our body, my hands are actually instruments with which I can do activities. The points of articulation, my mouth, my tongue, all these together, this is actually instruments with which I am doing this activity, right? We call it karmendriya. Karma means action. Indriya means instrument. The instrument with which I can do this activity of talking. Similarly, my mind is also another instrument with which I am able to work. You are doing this work listening to my talk. That is actually a work you are doing with this instrument called mind. But you are actually observing this instrument called mind. So you are not mind. Mind is only an instrument. Just like my hand, my mind is also an instrument. I am observing it. I am observing. I am being aware of my mind. Mind awareness and management. For this purpose, we have various practices. Some yogic practices, the asanas. Through asanas, you are doing a lot of exercises with your body. For developing awareness of your body. For developing the ability to manage your own body. That is why we are doing asana. And pranayama. Prana means the vital force. And by practicing, we are developing awareness and management of our prana. This is the purpose of doing pranayama in yoga, yogic practice. And pratyahara, that is next step. And that through pratyahara, you are bringing your thoughts from outside into yourself. By observing your mind, you are able to manage your mind. You are able to manage your body, you are able to manage your mind. That mind which is traveling everywhere, going out, we can bring it back to yourself. By observing it, by understanding its nature, by building up positive habits. This is yogic system. Therefore, yogic system is actually mind awareness and management. So like this, there are various systems. As I said earlier, I do not have enough time to explain more systems. So in short, all this tradition, the Indian tradition, we are seeing, one more thing I will explain before I conclude. That is about the gods, because that is a recurring question I am facing. Hindus have a number of gods. Why? Actually, each god is only a representation of an idea. The form, the god's form, like Lord Shiva. Shiva is an idea with which you are able to focus your mind, with which you are able to bring your mind into management, into control. So, these deities are only ideas expressed in forms. And these ideas you are able to use for the purpose of bringing your mind into certain, limited movement. Your mind is going unlimited area. From there, through the thought of, like, I am thinking of Lord Shiva, then any god, it's fine if you are thinking about Lord Shiva, or you are thinking about Lord Vishnu, you are thinking about Jesus, you are thinking about any other god, no problem. Any god is fine. And with that thought, you are able to minimize the movement of your mind. You understand what I am saying? So it's a beautiful system. This is the very beginning of a person's self-practice, self-formation. And the next level is yoga. Because you need more force to bring your mind under control in yogic system. But in the devotional system, you think of a god and you love God. That is easier. So, but for the purpose of mind awareness and management. So, in short, all these systems of our traditional systems are actually for this purpose, and mind awareness management is for your day-to-day life, to make your day-to-day life free of unhappiness. When your life is free of unhappiness, you become happy and contented, then that is moksha. That is the purpose. In the end of each day, if you are able to sit peacefully and if you are able to sit happy, then that is moksha. For that purpose, all these practices are useful, and it is necessary to understand deeper this aspect. This is a small period of time. I explained whatever I could in this small period of time. I welcome questions if you have in this aspect. And my sincere thanks to Anita Nair and the authority of this Martin School for allowing me to talk about mind awareness and management. I am here for a small period of time to speak and to discuss about this mind awareness and management. It is necessary to remove the misunderstanding about all our traditional systems. So, because many people think that these traditional systems, they are not useful for our day-to-day life. That is wrong. Actually, this system is useful for our day-to-day life. for while you are working in your office. This system is useful. If you have this internal control, that is helpful for your work. In your family, for your relationship, for happiness, this is useful. So everywhere, wherever you are going, this is useful. I extend my sincere thanks once again for each one of you, and namaste.
Any questions? I'll bring the mic to you.
Thank you. That's a great talk. I mean, briefly you mentioned by practice meditation. So again, my question is how? I mean, obviously we know that is happening, but how to control?
How to control?
Yeah.
How to control during the meditation? This is your question.
No, I mean how to control. One answer is meditation.
How to control?
Yeah, how to control the thoughts that's coming
Right.
constantly.
A very good question. As I said earlier, the control happens through habit because the mind always works on the basis of habit. For example, from childhood, you might have developed some habit of doing during your work. You are thinking of something else. That is a habit actually. So to bring your mind into your work, for example, now we are doing this talk and discussion, then our mind should be at present. When you are going home and you are watching a movie, then your mind should be in watching movie. There are some people who are in the office, they think about their house, their family. And they come to family and they think about their office. You know, that's a habit. They cannot be, if they go to street, they will think about either work or either, that is not right. When you are in street, you should be in street. When you are at home, you should be at home. When you are working, you should be in the work. So if you develop that habit, then it is called ekagrata. Ekagrata. Ekagrata means one thing at a time. One thing at a time. You cannot do, because your mind cannot attend two things at the same time. Your mind can attend only one thing at a time. That is how your mind, that is a knowledge and awareness. On the basis of this awareness, if you develop this habit of working one thing and forgetting everything else. You know, if you want to do one thing, you definitely need to forget everything else. Am I right or wrong? Right? If you want to be here, you cannot be anywhere else, no? Am I right? So there are two things at the same time happening. One thing, remembering this aspect and forgetting all other things. Right? Yes. That is truth. That happens, that is called, I said earlier, that is called vairagyam, non-attachment. When you are not attached to anything, your mind won't go to any other aspects. While you are working this is called attachment. While you are listening to me, if your mind is not going to anything else, then your mind is not attached. Non-attached mind. You understand, no? So that is how we are able to concentrate. It is not actually concentration. It is the natural working style of your mind. Your mind becomes natural. Because naturally your mind can attend only one thing at a time. So naturally you do that. But being attached to various things, and there is a word usually used that is multitasking, no? that multitasking is impossible. It is impossible because your mind can attend only one thing at a time. then how can you do more than one thing at the same time? But you can shift. You can immediately shift. If you are attending more than one things, means simultaneously, when you are work, you need to do various things. That is actually very fast shifting. Consciously shifting. When you are attending this, you are attending this. Then immediately you are attending that, you are attending this. Then you need to forget that. Clear, no? Yeah.
Thank you very much for this very interesting. I think it was Arthur Schopenhauer who said that chasing happiness or seeking happiness is the main cause for unhappiness.
Unhappiness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That if you try to focus that I want to be happy, this will make me happy, this will make me happy. He said that's the main cause of unhappiness. Is this something related to the detachment you were talking about? Is it
Detachment?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever I understood from the question is that you were asking, is the attachment cause the unhappiness?
I think you mentioned, attachment to material things, to others will make you unhappy.
If you try to, very clear to me.
Sorry?
Yes.
So you said unhappiness is due to attachment to different things?
Well, I started by saying what Schopenhauer said, that chasing happiness is the main cause for unhappiness. That if you focus that for things to make you happy, that will make you unhappy.
So what he's saying is, when you are actually unhappy because of the attachments, it's difficult to focus. So that's probably the reason.
Okay. Yeah, right.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Right.
Yeah.
Chasing happiness is the main cause for unhappiness. Chasing happiness.
Chasing happiness.
To be happy.
Very good. That actually, that happiness. Very good question, because it is necessary to understand what is happiness. There are happiness due to various kinds of happiness due to the you chase and you get because of some reason. For example, as I said earlier, you eat chocolate and you become happy, and after that you become unhappy because you don't have chocolate with you, so then you become unhappy. You are watching movie and then you become happy, and when you are not able to watch movie, you become unhappy. So the happiness due to certain things, that of course that is necessary in our life, that is not the real happiness. It is necessary to understand by observation, by observing ourselves. The happiness is not because of any reason. If you are chasing happiness, and I want to happiness from that person, or I want to happiness from that place, and you go there and you are not getting that happiness, you become very unhappy. That is because the wrong concept about happiness and unhappiness. Clear, no? So this is further knowledge in this aspect. Very good question, because it is a short period of time I am talking, so I am not able to explain everything. But on the basis of the question, let me explain that the happiness, various kinds of happiness are there. The happiness because of some reason, that kind of happiness will not stay longer, because it is only because that cannot be called as real happiness, a kind of pleasure. But the real happiness is because of the knowledge about your own mind. The due to knowledge. The knowledge is not coming from anywhere else. It is inside you itself, because the observer. If you depend upon your own observer and you are realizing the nature of your own mind, and through that awareness you are becoming happy. That is possible. That is the peace. When your mind is managed properly, when your mind is not attached, when you are functioning properly, you become internally happy. You become internally satisfied. It is not because of any reason. It is because of your awareness about your own mind. Even if you realize that I am unhappy because of chasing happiness, then itself you become happy. You understand what I am saying? Because you are realizing the fact that I am becoming very much disturbed because I am searching for happiness. Just that realization itself gives you happiness. A kind of contentedness, a kind of peace. So that is because of knowledge, because of awareness. So this is higher level of happiness. The happiness has various levels, and this higher level of happiness is the stable happiness. So that happiness, I said earlier, no, stable happiness. That stable happiness is not because of any external cause. Clear, I think? Yeah.
May I ask one question, sir?
Yes.
Yes. So in this part of the world, when you say yoga, yoga is all about body postures and breathing. How can body postures help in controlling the mind?
Right. Very good question. Because as I said earlier, it is the awareness which is very important. We are trying to build up, we are trying to strengthen our awareness, our observation. This is what we are trying to strengthen. So when we are walking, we are sitting, whatever we are doing, after you wake up, while you are sleeping, you are not able to observe because your mind is sleeping. You wake up because your observation started. Am I right? Am I right? When you wake up, your observation starts. When you sleep, your observation finished. And from that moment, when you wake up until you fall asleep, always you are observing. Observing your body, observing your mind. Only thing that we are not aware of it. It happens naturally and taken for granted. But consciously, if we are able to strengthen this aspect of observation, then we can make it deeper. For that purpose, we can use our body. So, for example, I am just walking. No, this walking itself, if I make it rhythmic, 1, 2, 3, 4, then I need to observe. Right? Because I am controlling. So 1, 2, 3, 4, then I am actually observing. Without observation, I am not able to control. I cannot move rhythmically without observation. This is happening in dance. The same thing happens in yoga. The difference in yoga is that in dance, the purpose of movement is to make others happiness. In Bharatanatyam, when you are moving, you make other people happy. And the main purpose is not this observation. But the only purpose in yoga is to develop this observation, faculty of observation. Therefore, you are doing all this movement for the purpose of developing observation. So, movement, make it conscious, make it slow. In that way, you are developing our natural behavior of observation. The natural behavior of observation, that you are actually consciously strengthening. Similarly, when you are working with your breath, actually you are breathing because of the movement of your lungs. No? So when I am inhaling, what is happening? My lungs actually attracting air by its movement. And when I am exhaling, inhaling and exhaling, the same thing happens. Actually, the energy of my muscles, that is actually controlled while I am doing this. And by doing this breath control, I develop my observation about inner part of my body. By asanas, I am developing my observation of the outer part of my body. By doing breath control, I am developing observation inner part of muscles and inner aspects of my body. And if you are still doing pranayamas and various other exercises, you are able to develop the observation, awareness of inner part of your body. And this is not for giving a kind of surprise to other people, not to mesmerize other people. It is for the purpose of developing your health, developing your own awareness and mental health. That is the purpose of yoga, and not to show magical activities. That is not the purpose of yoga. Anyway, so it is through this body movement, rhythmic movement, slow movement, and by strengthening this natural aspect of observation, this yoga becomes effective for developing our inner observation. Is it clear?
Thank you, sir. So let us all give us, sir, a big round of applause again. I think we have to stop now. Dr. Kannan will be around for some more times if you have any particular questions, specific questions to ask him. Thank you.
Thank you.